Who's the leader of the pack? Bringing legacy to you. Legacy, it's true. Stand up, gear up, join the fight. We're as fierce as we can be. With grit and might, we claim the night. We're the legacy. Legacy Club. Legacy Club. Strong and unbreakable. Warriors with fire inside. In our hearts, we're invincible. Legacy Club.
Okay. I feel like I start every episode with like a okay or oh hey oh. I'm gonna stop that. Because it annoys me. So probably annoys other people too. Welcome back to the Legacy Club podcast. I'm Justin, aka the Portuguese Problem, aka the Menace of Madeira, aka the Azorian Nightmare. I went through all my AKAs. Because this UFC's back. UFC came back already last weekend with a fight night. That was good. It was a fight night. Fight nights are very, sometimes you're invested with fighters on the card, and other times you're not so much. And I was not so much invested in any of the fighters on the first fight card of the year. Mackenzie Dern, who doesn't like Mackenzie Dern? She won, so that was cool. This is different though. This is UFC 311, and the numbered UFCs are the pay-per-views, and those are the big fights. Those are the fights that are usually title fights or, usually title fights. And I'm going to do episodes for those. I'm going to do episodes for going into and then like coming out of the big UFC pay-per-views. So if you're a Disney listener, I understand. I understand if this is not conventionally for you, but give it a shot. Give it a shot. Why not? Why not give it a shot? You can watch the prelims and early prelims on Disney Plus if you got like the ESPN extension pack or whatever it is. So, if you got it, why not dip your toe? Dip your toe in mixed martial arts. I'm passionate about, this show is mostly about what I'm passionate about, and that happens to be Disney and mixed martial arts. So these episodes will come up anytime there's a pay-per-view, and hopefully my Disney friends will stick around, and hopefully my fight friends are entertained by me geeking out real hard over Disney stuff. It's an interesting dichotomy we have here on this channel. But anyway, get to the point. Get to the point. You know what the point is? The point is I was woefully unaware that this card is so stacked. Like, there's some really good fights on the main card. I haven't really checked out the undercards, but they go pretty all out. If they're gonna, it's a top heavy card though, from what I understand. Meaning the main card is really where all the action is. Let's see. Let's just check. Let's just look at the undercard and see if anything tickles our fancy. Cool fights on the early prelims. Nothing that stands out too wildly. Grant Dawson's fighting. He's number 15 in the lightweight division. Yeah, I don't know if he's like a top 10 guy, but it's cool to see him fight. he is favorited in his fight. Not surprised. He's definitely a fun watch. He's definitely someone to keep an eye on. Anyone in the top 15 is always worth watching. Like I said, I don't know if he can hang with the boys in the top 10, but, you know, wilder things have happened. Charles Oliveira was like on a wild losing streak. His record was awful. And then all of a sudden he hit the gas. And really took to the top. Yeah. Prelims don't have anything super wild either. So we're going to just focus on the main card. And the first fight on the main card is Kevin Holland versus RDR, Renier de Ridder. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Well, I am kind of blown away that Kevin Holland's on this card. I feel like Kevin Holland fights all the time. He's far more active than a lot of the other fighters in the division, and he's not even ranked top 15 right now. But he's got that star power, you know. He's entertaining. He's entertaining in his fights, and that's like beyond his skill set. Like he runs his mouth throughout the whole fight. So it's oftentimes just entertaining for that alone, to see what wild, nonsense he's gonna start saying as he's getting either punched in the head or punching in the head. He is, I'd say, the more significant striker in this fight. His grappling is really improved. He's coming off a loss, but his loss was due to injury. And I mean, that's a loss. That's a TKO. Like, you injure your opponent, you win the fight. But at the same time, it's just kind of like when an injury happens in a fight, like when Conor broke his leg, or when Anderson Silva broke his leg, like anytime an unexpected injury happens, it's kind of like bummer, because I mean that can happen to anybody. It could be, the best fighter in the world going up against somebody just significantly below. They'll have an opponent that they outmatch in almost every way, but it's, you twist your knee the wrong way, you get kicked in the ribs. Kevin Holland sustained a broken rib, I think, in his last fight, and he that was in the first round. He didn't come out in the second round, and it's just kind of like, I mean, when you're not going to go fight 2 more rounds with a broken rib. Like, you can't breathe. The pain with every breath is just so sharp and piercing that, I mean, you're going to lose the fight. You're compromised. So you throw in the towel. It's disappointing as a fight fan when that happens, because, it's more entertaining the longer the fight goes. But injuries happen, and when an injury happens, I don't necessarily devalue a fighter's stock because they lose via injury, because, again, it can happen to anybody. It's just part of it. Yeah. Renier, there's nothing about him that, from an entertaining standpoint, he's a great fighter, but he doesn't have the same star power that Kevin Holland does. He doesn't have like the same kind of personality. He also shines more in grappling, I think. So it's going to be one of those things where if he keeps Holland on the ground for all 3 rounds, like, he could win decision pretty easily, but that also can be not as exciting to watch. But again, so Holland, his grappling has improved leaps and bounds over his career. So if he can avoid being taken down, that really will force Renier to stay on the feet, and he doesn't have the same power that Holland does. Holland has that one punch power. So it's I'm taking Holland in this fight, hopefully by knockout, late first round to mid second round. If he doesn't get that, then I'm presuming that means he was taken down and held down for the majority of the fight, and then that will give Renier the decision. So this could be a decision for Renier, but I got some faith. I got faith in Holland. He's a wild boy. He's a wild boy. So I don't think RDR is ready for that. I don't foresee him being able to handle Holland standing up. So as long as Holland is standing up, it's going to be his fight. The second fight on the main card is Beneil Dariush, who's ranked number 9 lightweight, against Renato Moicano. Money Moicano. And this is another fight where personality wins it to a certain degree. When it comes to who I think most people want to see win, Moicano is the favorite for this fight. So he's the dog. Beneil's he's at that point in his career, and he's at that age. He's at that stage in life where he was at the top of the division. He was the brightest contender for the belt. He lost to Charles Oliveira, and since that loss, it's kind of been, it's kind of been a downward slope for Dariush. He still has it in him. He can win. His skill set is still there. I just don't know if he's still got the same fire. You know what I mean? When fighters are at the top of the division and then they get bumped down to the 9, ranking 9, 10 around there, I feel like they just become more of a gatekeeper, and they're somebody that the up and comers have to surpass to cement their place with the top ranks of the division. So it's a bummer, because Beneil Dariush is one of those guys who's the nicest guys ever. When you see him in interviews, or you watch the Embedded series before pay-per-views or press conferences or whatever, he's always so nice and polite and just seems like a kind dude. Not a lot of flair, not a lot of flash. He doesn't have what Kevin Holland has. Kevin Holland has that pizzazz that makes him a star. I don't know if Dariush would ever really be a star, even if he was a champion. Even if he was the champion, it would still kind of be well, this is a sweet guy. There's not a lot of smack talk. There's not a lot of angst built up to any of his fights. And I don't know. I don't think he's at the point of considering retirement. I mean, he is still top 10. Even if he loses this fight, he'll still be top 10. But it's, like I said, he's at gatekeeper status. The up and comers have to beat him to be a contender with the other big dogs in the division. Money Moicano, though, that dude, you put a microphone in that in front of that guy, and he's a delight. He's a lot of fun hearing his interviews, like post-fight, pre-fight. He has the fire in him too. He's a younger dude. He's still got it. He fights like he has something to prove. That's the best way I could put it. So, I'm gonna give it to Moicano. I think he can do it. I think he can KO Dariush. If Dariush gets him to the ground, it's gonna be a real tough night at the office. Moicano's good on the ground too. Dariush is better though. But there's no denying that his strength will be in grappling. But that's not to say he doesn't present a problem on the feet too. I just think on the feet he will probably be fighting more defensively, and when Moicano has the more aggressive offense, he usually shows out. So I'm saying Moicano finish late second, mid third round. I don't see that one going to decision. And if it does, it's because Dariush got tired or something and just kind of wanted to sit and just roll around with him. The third fight is an interesting fight. This fight we had lined up as a title fight. It's Yuri Prochazka, who's number 2 in the lightweight division, against Jamal Hill, who's ranked number 3 in the lightweight division. Both dudes won the belt fighting Glover Teixeira. Both guys lost their opportunity. So they both won the belt fighting Glover Teixeira. Both dudes, after winning the belt, sustained injuries right after. So they both vacated the title. They both vacated the belt. Yuri won the belt from Glover. Glover was the lightweight champ, and Yuri took the belt from him in a pretty dominant way. It was a really good fight. Then he sustained a pretty gnarly, I think, shoulder injury, and he was just going to be out. He felt that he was going to be out too long, and it was going to just hold up the division. And Yuri Prochazka is a man of honor. Like he is the Czech samurai. Like just a man of just pure nobility, and he's a character, and I love he's got that star power as well, but not because of like his verbal antics. It's because he's just such a peculiar dude. Like he'll take photos on social media of him like in the snow, standing in the lake in front of a waterfall, just kind of like presenting himself to the gods. And it's just like before this fight, leading up to this fight, he did this thing where he just sat alone in darkness and fasted. No food, by himself, in complete darkness. And it's just like the psychology that you have to live by to put yourself through such a, I don't know, man, just such an unsettling situation. You're a different kind of creature, you know what I mean? Like you're a different breed. So he got hurt, vacated the title. The title was put up between, again, Glover Teixeira and Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill won the belt, and then after that he sustained an injury. I don't remember what injury he had, but it was another one where it was going to take him out for like a significant amount of time. And his logic was, well, Yuri won the belt. He got hurt, felt like he was going to hold up the division. I got the belt. It would be kind of, you know, it doesn't feel right to hold on to it, you know, and then hold up the division again. And they were supposed to fight before he got hurt. It was supposed to be Yuri's comeback to win, to fight for the title again against Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill got hurt, so then, you know, they got all spun around, and that's when Alex Pereira stepped up to lightweight and just robbed both of these men of their dream. Yeah. Yuri Prochazka came up to, I think, fight for, again, the vacant title at lightweight, and he was going up against Alex Pereira and got knocked out. Then Jamal Hill came back after his injury, went up against Pereira, who held the belt and got knocked out. So it's two guys this fight's two dudes who have previously been champions, lost or gave up their belt as champions, and then could not regain their belt again. So, yeah, this is a title fight that we never got, but now it's just not for a title. Let's see. It looks like Yuri is the underdog, but not by a lot. Jamal Hill, his name is Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill, because he's able to, you know, put lights out pretty tactfully against his opponents. He's got some undeniable knockout power, but Yuri also he can take a hit. Yuri can take a hit and keep on coming, and he has just such a unpredictable and unorthodox fighting style that I just don't know how you ever prepare to fight somebody like Yuri Prochazka. So Yuri's fighting style may not present Jamal the opportunity to showcase his knockout power. He'll definitely be able to hit Yuri. I just don't know if he'll be able to hit Yuri significantly enough to end the fight. Yuri has knockout power too, though. You know, he doesn't have quite the same just punching power maybe as Jamal Hill, but I would argue that Yuri is a bit more well-rounded and, again, very unorthodox. So, you know, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Jamal seems shaken, though. So his loss to Pereira really, really seems like it did something to him. Like his brain has kind of been broken since losing that. It was a shot to his ego. It was like the fashion he lost to Pereira in was he kicked Pereira below the belt, gave him a nut shot. It wasn't like a brutal nut shot, but any kind of nut shot's pretty brutal. But instead of taking the time to recover, Pereira waved off the ref, and they just kept fighting. And right after waving off the ref, he just stepped up and, you know, put out Jamal Hill. So Hill kind of contests like the fairness of how he was knocked out. I've seen that fight a number of times. I've watched that knockout a number of times, and it seems pretty square to me. Like there was nothing fishy about it. So I really do feel like if Hill wasn't knocked out then, he would have been knocked out shortly thereafter because, Shama. Pejeda's a different kind of animal. So, and then I watched the press conference tonight, and I watched the press conference, and the entire crowd was booing Jamal Hill, and they took it a step further and started chanting Shama at him, which is just like pouring, just ripping his skin off and then dousing him in salt. Like that was harsh what they did to him. And it really seems like Jamal Hill is just he's not there anymore. He's been shaken. Yuri seemed shook after losing his second fight to Pejeda, but shook in a different way. Like he took it as I need to improve. Like I thought I was this caliber of fighter. I'm clearly not the caliber of fighter that I need to be to regain the title in this division. So he went and he did his shamanistic preparation thing, and he seems mentally sound, mentally strong. He seems more focused. He seems like the Yuri of old, where Hill seems like a new version of himself that is just not who he used to be. And I think he needs to be who he used to be to have a chance against Yuri. So, the odds favor Hill, and I definitely think it's because of his knockout power. But I think Yuri he's just more in it, the mental game in fighting, I think really is equally as important as the physical. And I think Yuri has the mental and physical, while Jamal seems to be missing that mental, in my opinion. So I don't know. The co-main is another interesting situation. It's Marav. I can't never say his last name. Marav Develishvili. Marab. It's Marab. He's current champion. He got the belt at UFC Ocho, the fight at the Sphere. He won the title in pretty dominant fashion. Umar Nurmagomedov, he's ranked, what was he ranked? I think he's number 2 right now. Yeah, he's number 2 right now. Umar, though, is cousins with Khabib. And if I remember, I think Umar's beaten Merab before. Umar Nurmagomedov. I can say Nurmagomedov, but I can't say Develishvili. Let's see. I'm just going to ask. Did Umar beat, or have they not fought before? Who has Merab lost to? No. Merab has not lost. They have not fought before. For whatever reason, I thought the title fight, the main event, they have fought before. Okay, that's who I'm thinking of. So that fight is interesting because Umar Nurmagomedov, I mean, he's part of that crew, that Khabib crew. Same with Islam Makhachev, who's fighting in the main event. Who's the favorite? Yeah, they got Umar as the favorite, and I think he's a pretty clear favorite. He's undefeated. He's 18-0. Merab is 18-4. They're both coming off a win. Merab, his advantage in this fight is definitely going to be his stamina. His gas tank is really what he has to depend on, because unlike Habib, Umar, his cousin, is actually a more of a striker. Like he started his fighting endeavors as a kickboxer, wherein Habib and like Islam, I don't know. I think Islam might be he might be a more prominent striker too, but his wrestling is really up there, almost neck and neck with Habib. Umar is not as skilled a wrestler as his cousin is, or some of the other Dagestanian fighters, but those are the guys he wrestles with. So just having that alone in his training, Merab, who usually is a star on the ground with his grappling, that's not just it. Merab definitely has the skill set and ability to knock somebody out, but if he's ever in a situation where he's up against another striker who is, just who's more aggressive and maybe a little more skillful on the feet, he can fall back on his wrestling and really dictate where the fight's going to take place. If he feels comfortable on the feet, he can keep it there. If he's not so comfortable on the feet, he can transition it to the ground and keep it there and mix it up. He has the ability to really change levels super quick and just kind of exhaust his opponents. Like his fight against, his title fight against Sean O'Malley, I feel like he reflected that really well. Like he didn't seem overwhelmed or threatened on the feet against Sean O'Malley, but he definitely, I think he just kind of toyed with O'Malley. He was just like, look, you're hopeless on the ground against me, so I'm just going to take you down, make you tired, hit you a bunch, take you down, tire you out some more, then hit you a bunch. It was a very well-rounded fight on Merab's end. The striking advantage, I think, goes to Umar for sure. So let's just say that factors in heavily, and it makes Merab uncomfortable on the feet. Merab definitely does not want to change levels and go to the ground with a Nurmagomedov. He doesn't want to take on that Dagestanian bloodline on the ground. So he doesn't have his wrestling to fall back on as, an advantage. Like he's in for it. I mean, there is a scenario definitely where Merab can win. I just don't see Merab finishing Umar. So for Merab to win, it's gonna have to go to decision. When it comes to Umar, there's not going to be a submission. I don't foresee that happening. Merab's too gifted on the ground to be submitted. But he's also not going to be able to submit Umar. So I'm going to take that away. And then on the feet, Umar's just faster. He's just faster, and he's just more put together as a striker. So if Merab can win some takedowns and just use his endurance to last on the feet, maybe the judges will give it to him, because judges are wild cards and decide make some questionable decisions, to put it lightly. I don't see this being very likely for Merab to come out victorious. I really think Umar is going to be the new champion at bantamweight. I'm going to say, because it'll be a 5-round fight. I'm going to say it's going to go into the 4th and 5th round, probably for sure. And I'm going to say TKO. I think if Umar can just catch Merab in a bad situation, he can just pummel him enough to where they stop the fight. So I'm going to say Umar TKO, late 4th, mid 5th. If it goes to decision, who knows? Who really knows? And then the main card is Islam Makhachev, the current champion of the lightweight division, against the number 1 Arman Tsarukyan. Tsarukyan, not Tsarukyan, Tsarukyan. I think the T might be silent. Tsarukyan, Arman Tsarukyan. We're going to go with that, Tsarukyan. I think actually that's right. Islam is unsurprisingly the favorite. I think they definitely have fought before. They're both coming off wins. They have fought before, and in their last matchup, Islam beat Arman, and it was a tough fight. I think it was the toughest fight that Islam has had to date. Let's see. I want to say, how did the last fight end? Islam versus Arman 1. It's a full fight on YouTube. Don't want to do that. Shh. Quiet. Everything is saying rematch. 2019 they fought, and hang on, where was it? Man, I just want the one fight. They're going through all their fights that they've had. I just want the one. I guess I should clarify. Who won? I know Islam won, but are you going to tell us how? Unanimous decision. Yeah, it did go to decision. Okay. I thought so because it really didn't seem like Islam was overly dominant in that fight, if I remember correctly. It was clear like he had it. It was clear he won, but it wasn't like just a blowout like some of Islam's fight have been. And then Arman has a lot of blowout fights too. Arman Tsarukyan is one of those guys where watching his fights, there was usually no doubt that he was going to come out on top. He's 22-3, so he has lost 3 fights, one of those being to Islam. I don't recall his other 2 fights that he lost. I don't know if I watched those, but he's been on a significant win streak. He's been on a tear through the lightweight division. So we'll see, man. We'll see. It's hard to envision a way where Islam loses because he's just gifted in this sport all the way around. His striking is, impeccable. His groundwork is, undeniable. He trains with Habib. He's part of that Nurmagomedov crew. he's not related to them, but I mean, he's trained with Habib and Habib's dad like his whole life. So he's definitely he's of that caliber of those like Dagestanians that just seem inhuman. But you can't count Sarukian out. You can't count him out. I don't know. I think he's just where he falls short, maybe his experience when it's compared to Islam. Islam just seems more comfortable and has a higher fight IQ, and that really is what it's going to come down to, is just who just clearly seems more comfortable in the fight. So, so I wouldn't be surprised if we got another decision. I'm thinking it probably will go to another decision. I don't know if Islam's going to be. He may be able to catch him and submit him. I don't foresee Islam knocking him out. He can, but I just don't think Sarukian is. I don't know if he's going to present that opportunity. Anybody can get caught. That's undeniable. But at the same time, you usually get caught when you make a mistake, and Sarukian doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Even in his first fight against Islam, there weren't a lot of mistakes made. He just did not seem as comfortable in the fight as Islam did. And I kind of feel like with how they've both improved over time, I just kind of see a repeat of what happened the first time. A great fight, but ultimately I think Islam will come out on top in a decision. So that one will be and still. And that's that, guys. That is the main card for UFC 311. To all my Disney homies, if you stuck around, hopefully this, enticed you to watch the fight, even if it is just the prelims and early prelims. That's something. That's entertaining. You may not be into buying the pay-per-view, but maybe this is gonna be your 2025. You're gonna give MMA a shot. I will be on X during the main card and posting my reaction to the fight. I've always kind of thought about doing like a reaction video to the fights, but at the same time, it's like, if you're watching the fight, you're not going to be watching my reaction. And then I don't know how many people who listen to this that are interested in the fights won't be watching the fights. But maybe one day I'll do like a watch along and do a video. And if you don't feel like buying the pay-per-view, you can just keep up with me and my reaction to it. But right now you can still keep up with my reaction to the fights just over on X, and that's at Leal Legacy. It's at Leal Legacy on all your favorite social media platforms. As always, we are sponsored by ourselves by LealLegacy.com, more specifically Legacy Club Clothing, and that's Legacy Club CLO.com. The CLO stands for clothing, and you can pick yourself up something like this. Look at that. That is a perfect combination of fighting and Disney right there. That's why our logo is the Mickey Mouse gloves put up, fists up. I put a lot of thought into that. It encompasses, like I said, my passions, fighting and cartoons and Disney. Go to LealLegacy.com or LegacyClubClo.com and pick yourself up something nice, something like what I got on right now. Right now, we're really into our Buffalo plaid line. So it's, our Fists logo, our Lucky Leal character, other variations of Leal Legacy iconography, all in a buffalo plaid pattern. So get it while you can, because eventually I think I'm going to take it down, and that'll be, it'll become a collector's item. So get yours while it's available. There's a whole bunch of other fight themed and Disney themed designs that aren't specifically Leal Legacy iconography. Our Legacy Fight Company line, our LFC line, is our fight line. So for fight fans, that'll be the one you want to check out. And then, just check out all of it. There's always new stuff going up. There's always stuff being taken down. It's just keep up. And that's the best way to support what we're doing here. If you don't feel like throwing any shekels our way, well, another free way to show your support is just by simply subscribing, leaving a comment, leaving a like, smash the like button, leave a review, do all those things across all your favorite podcast platforms, on YouTube, on Rumble, wherever. Just go subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when our new stuff comes into existence. Because, I don't think we've mastered the algorithm quite enough to be presented just right on your homepage. But if you hit the notification bell, then we will be, and that'll help us, with everybody else too. Yeah. So if you don't mind, go do that. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and thanks for being a friend and telling a friend. Until next time, see ya.